latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Telling you guys a bit of a review video on a brand new tent from Outwell. So with me here today, I've got the Forestville 6SA. So the Forestville actually fits in kind of Outwell's superior collection. So it's almost basically took over from the Smart Air, which we sort of knew and loved from many years ago. Now essentially it's got kind of the Smart Air concept in terms of stability, so it's very quick and easy to pitch, but rather than being it from one point pumps the whole tent up, everything's done individually and then brace beams are inserted. So you still get the rigidity, but then it's a more simplistic system, with less to go wrong, more importantly, and generally you still retain that kind of overall structure. So this, in my way, think of it almost like a mini Knoxville. So make the Knoxville 7SA, this is the Forestville 6SA. It's got very Knoxville features, and it's just almost a miniature version. So if the Knoxville's a little bit too big, this is where this is quite a nice option. It sits in kind of Outwell's top end sort of inflatable tents in terms of polyester. So you've got this really lovely 6,000mm 150 ripstop material. So it's really nice and strong, designed to last and be durable. Joys of ripstop, if you had any sort of small little nicks or anything into it, it'll be isolated to that single point rather than carrying on and going along essentially the seam line. What we've got as well to combat that really nice fabric is this really nice big PVC windows to get that sort of durability. They're slightly tinted as well, so what you find is that you've got the privacy from the inside, but still get the views at the same time. From the outside, you can merely see sort of shapes rather than physical details, and you can get, well, the zip-up curtains are included to get that ultimate amount of privacy when you really want to. You've got storm straps front and back, so that's in combined with the additional brace beams in the roof, really give you a great structure to start from. The storm straps as well can kind of clip off and toggle back as well, so it means that you can retain it back here if you don't want to get them in the way. And you've got this kind of floating guidelines kind of system where the actual guideline itself or the trip hazard is visible, whereas it's hidden a bit more when it gets close to the tent. Really nice detail, actually kind of matches a small little trim they've got around the actual tent, so I think that's quite a nice little feature. Each beam, as I said, is done individually. You can check out our own Attwoolls pitching and packing video. I've got myself pitching this on my own. It took me around about sort of 11 minutes to do, so it's a perfect tent going away for small periods of time, as well as those slightly longer weeks away. Ventilation is key in the actual Forestville, so we've got basically mesh doors on both sides, a mesh internal door, and then low-level ventilation points to help that air flow. So again, it's going to try and design to make it a little bit cooler on a warm day. The thing I quite like about the sort of low-level vents as well is actually there's zips on them, so you can close them if you really want to. For me, you want to maximise that kind of additional ventilation and have that circulation of air. It's really good, like I said, help fight that condensation, which is a real big pain, certainly in air tents these days. A big mesh vent is also at the back, so not only got it right at the back, but in the bedroom section located down there as well. The oversized kind of dinghy kind of style valves are great to get the air in, a manual pump supplied with it as well. And what you find, you also get a kind of oversized wheelie bag to sort of handle kind of the little bit extra weight and make it a bit more transportable, and two handles either side. Again, just give it a bit more kind of easier to pick it up and put it into the car. The front panel as well, you've almost got this kind of Gothic arch kind of system throughout the whole tent to help with interior height. So even though it's necessarily a slightly smaller kind of sort of width than you would probably see, it still helps to make it a bit more boxier, should we say. The front panels, as we can see here, you can actually sort of open it from right to left or left to right, depending on which way you want the door to be entrance. You've also got a couple of zip pullers as well, so if you wanted to, you can create a little veranda kind of feel to it, so it means you can still kind of keep protection from wind and rain or keep the dogs and kids in, but still have a bit better airflow into the main body of the tent. What I'll do is like I said, this door can go left to right, but for me, I feel it works better if we roll this door out from the right to left. And then what we've kind of done was create a bit of a corridor down this right hand side into the main body of the tent. So again, you've got curtains for the canopy section as well, so again, you get the ultimate amount of privacy. So on the sides it's zipped up and the front is kind of toggled, so that can roll back nice and neatly and toggle back to this point here. Saying that, you can take the zips all the way across and almost make it feel like a completely open canopy by being a bit lazy. removing the pegging points. And then to a certain extent, you can just kind of fold the fabric. And then roll it and tuck it in the side out of the way. And that helps to create a bit more of an open kind of canopy for this front section. So let's swing the camera around and have a look inside of the Forestville and talk for a load more features that it has built into it. So now inside the Forestville, you can probably get a bit more of an understanding for certainly the canopy. Now, to be fair, you know, it's not the biggest canopy, but it's quite ample. You know, you happily got enough room to put sort of a table and chairs out here for a nice day, or if you want a cooking kind of an area, you can also quite happily do that. You know, it's really, even though it essentially is a 6-berth, I would say it's more of a comfy 4 for those people who don't want to compromise on spec. They want literally the ultimate amount of everything, really. So you could get squeeze 6 in, but really I think a 4 is a bit more realistic. And when we go in the back bedroom section a bit, we'll kind of work through that itself. So what we've got here is obviously a decent sort of size. We talked about that kind of Gothic arch kind of system, and that helps to give a great interior height. Even in the corners, I can stand up, not too bad. I'm about 6'2", not too far away at the base. We've got sit-up curtains, like I said, on the side to get the ultimate amount of privacy, and those mesh sort of ventilation ports underneath. Into this section here, we've actually got a quick and quiet door, which is one of our signature kind of features. It allows you to come in and out of kind of the section without having to use your zips, and it's a bit quieter, hence kind of the name. So the idea is it's meant to sort of necessarily close behind you to a certain degree. It just allows you to kind of come and go as you please. With the front door itself, you've also got zip panels, so if you don't want the ventilation points, you can just merely zip that purely up like so. Then you've got ultimate amount of kind of privacy and haven't got the airflow directly in. Then we just roll that directly down. Now, I must say, to be fair, the quick and quiet door tends to work better on the actual bedroom section and has a bit more of a better purpose, if you ask me. You know, going to bed late at night, that works better. For the front door, it's handy, especially if you want to use it to keep the bugs out, but it always finds it's a little bit of a, doesn't always close quite as it needs to, just with the extra fabric and the tension. So for me, I would probably just use, you can zip that up, so you don't have to use it at all. It's all then together. You can then use it like a conventional door quite happily, and it sort of opens up from sort of right to left. And again, by sort of mirroring that on the front, like that creates that sort of dead end space there. You've got your corridor into the main body of the tent. So you've got a really nice zip, runs not only along the top, but along the bottom. You can bring that door halfway if you wanted to. Obviously, put the blind up internally if you don't want to. Failing that, open it up completely. Roll that door section back, and then you've got your kind of canopy area comes into your main living area. It's worth noting there's actually storage pockets built into the tent at this stage here on both sides, so you can actually kind of, you know, utilize your space a bit better in kind of the canopy area, or store things out there quite happily and neatly. And then we've got a flat lip into the actual sort of main living area. One thing is, little details I do like is things like there's a little kind of extra bit of fabric over the zip, so a bit of plastic. Again, it's really designed to stop any mud or anything getting into that zip when it's laid down on the flat. So they've really thought about the small little details of it as well. A really quite ample living space, so even if there were sort of 6 of you, let alone a more comfy 4, you put a table and chairs in here and quite happily house yourself in here on the days when the weather does turn. Mesh doors on either side, and again, from standing from here, you've got a really nice kind of view around as well, from without that sort of little bit of privacy. So you get great clarity, actually, to be fair, on that whole section. Iconic features from Outwell as well are things like the sky track system, or the hook track system, I should say. So it's this little kind of beading that's located around the beam all the way. You can actually then use like the hook tracks to clip that onto there, have a hanging point for a lantern. You failing that, use it for sort of storage organisers, things like that. So you've got one by the bedroom section, one there, and you've also got, oh, I haven't got one in the canopy section, but you've got it on the main 3 beams internally. So you can either suspend things across it if you really wanted to. And like most brands, actually, it goes all the way down to the bottom. So that's where, you know, you can always have organisers between the beams. So again, utilising your space inside. The bedroom section at the back here, we've got a split it dead straight down the middle. So it's essentially a 160-160. So equal sizes, slightly darker tone as well to hope to cut out early morning light. And also what you find is actually you've got a decent amount of headroom. You get changed up here in the sort of a morning or an evening quite happily. The divider between two sections is zipped, so you can zip it vertically up and then have it in one big open space, depending on what's the best kind of layout for yourself. In the master bedroom, which we would probably call the right-hand one, just because it has that quick and quiet door feature. So if the kids are in one side and you're on the other, you can come and go on a night quite happily and not have to worry about waking them up by opening the zips. And for that one there, it actually closes, as you can see. Mesh panels built into all of the front of the doorways as well to kind of keep that ventilation directly through. And again, if the bedroom's a bit too dark, by putting that down, it allows a little bit of light to come through for the kids. You've got a slightly deeper depth than you would normally find in a tent as well. That's to accommodate sort of high-rise air beds or sort of sleeping mats, camp beds, for example. And actually, the way it's tailored, it's a bit more boxy at the back. In fact, let's bring the camera in. It's probably the best way of doing it. So, as we come in, kind of get a bit more idea about kind of the size of it. Like I said, really great sort of size sort of area at the front here. And then we're here, you've got that sort of bedroom section. So really quite nice. You've got a little vent at the back as well to help with airflow. And if you want visibility, you can just toggle this section up so you can obviously see out the back, but you can still have the privacy. So you've got breathability as well as privacy. There's a storage kind of pocket system built into here. It's probably a bit too dark, you can't quite see it to be fair. So storage pockets at the back there, trust my word. And also you've got storage pockets in the front section here. And there's also a cable entry point into the bedroom section on both sides. So you've got one on each side, so that way no one can be, you can get your charger phones in the lights. If you don't want to use a quick and quiet door, you can still use the door normally as a feature, so you can roll that back quite happily. That's probably a bit better. You can see the storage pockets in the corner there. Now I've done that. But you can probably see a little bit better as well, hopefully, the kind of boxier shape. And then we've got the zip dividers. It's sort of not on the bottom, but along the sides it kind of is zip dividers. And we've got the bracer beams situated in the roof throughout tent through the back section, all the way through to the front there as well. That's the kind of the hook track system. So you can have hanging points off there. And you've got cable entry points on sort of both sides. So down there on the right hand side, a little yellow tab. And again, same on the left, so you can happily accommodate mains hookup regardless of which way it comes in. Coming out, you see the depth fit is really quite nice. And now we kind of got that open kind of canopy, you've got that whole amount of flexibility. As we go around, the thing I do love is that colour, the blue, and kind of actually, we'll have a look and see, you can see the detail in the fabric there. It's almost like the cross kind of pattern of the ripstock. That works really well. Really nice ventilation doors. A load of ventilation by the bedroom section as well to help that condensation scenario. Webbing straps at the back, and I've got this vent fully open at the back here as well to maximise airflow. Failing that, you can just basically zip it down and completely zip it, or failing that, you've got a point to bring it out. So you've got airflow, but also got a rain protection as well. So that works really nicely. Beams down the bottom, so each one's done individually, like I said. You can always check that pitching video that we've done on how that necessarily works, but I think it sits really well. Like I said, I love how taut that roof section is. Like I said, it doesn't take an expert to pitch it well because of all those bracer beams. If you want any more information about anything to do with the Forestville, you're more welcome to follow the link below this video. It'll take you straight through to our website where we've got the item listed. Everything from pack sizes, pack weights, floor dimensions, individual features built onto the Forestville as well is also featured there, so you can kind of compare and contrast between other models. Have a look at, say, like the Knoxville, for example. Another point to make out is when you buy the footprint, it comes with the ground sheet for the front section, which then kind of toggles up as well, so it's worthwhile doing that. So that for me is quite a nice thing, especially when you ever enclose that kind of front section. But nice size. It's, like I say, it's one of those things that is for the family. You don't want to compromise on spec. Love their quality. A very kind of, I wouldn't say Outwell branded, because it follows that kind of system that they've done for years, and they've really kind of finalised and made sure that their quality, and they've tried to be the premium brand, and that's what kind of Outwell are all about to a certain extent. But like I said, By all means, let us know what you think about it. If you have any questions about it, feel free to comment in the box below. Failing that, you can always email us. But that's kind of our little video review on the brand new Outwell Forestville 6SA for 22 going forward.